So, E.G. Anonuma got interviewed, and sorry if I butchered that name, just like I called Tim Ryan in the last video. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not that great with names. I apologize about that. But, you know, he's the head of the Zelda team, I guess would be his title, you could call him. And honestly, he's in charge of a lot of the decisions that go down at Nintendo revolving around The Legend of Zelda. So, he was asked about the possibility of more spin-off games like Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, which I have been playing, and I have to say, it's a really fun game. The story, I'm not as much impressed with, obviously. If you guys saw my video that did blow up, I'll have a link to it at the end of this video. Not a link, but it'll come up on screen. You can watch that video if you did want to watch that. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that, you know, a lot of people are not happy about where the story goes in that video, and sorry, not that video, that game. And, you know, I have to be one of them because I just don't agree that it's a good story ending, and I don't really think it all coincides well with what we were told this game was going to represent. And a lot of you were resonating with that. You know, it got like 60-some likes and only like 12 or 13 dislikes. So I know the ratio is there to show me that I was onto something, and I think a lot of people do agree with me. But today, we're talking about what Anonuma said, and Anonuma has said it's really an idea-first approach and explained a bunch of circumstances. So here's what he had to say. We're always looking for valuable creative projects, but those only come about when several different conditions align, so it's hard for us to have a conscious control over the frequency. We make the decision that based on its creative merits, just like we did this time. So basically, they'd make a decision, and they would agree that, you know, they would be willing to make another Zelda spinoff if they basically had the opportunity to. Now, what I think he means by this is because of the fact that, guys, think about this, okay? You can only make a quote-unquote prequel to Breath of the Wild really once. I mean, where are you going to go? 200 years back? You see what I'm saying? You can't really keep dishing these things out there. So he's basically saying if an opportunity arises for them to be able to make a prequel, they would love to do it. Or make a new side game or something related to the Zelda Breath of the Wild universe as another spinoff. They would like to do it, but they're kind of lost as to where to go with that if they wanted to do it because they don't really know. So I understand where he's coming from. The only thing I don't understand is then why is the story so different from what we were promised in all the advertisements and everything. Like I said before, it just reminds me of Halo 5. But we're not going to get into that video here. We're going to get into the fact that what would you guys like to see in another spinoff for The Legend of Zelda? Now, would you want another Breath of the Wild spinoff? Would you want another just The Legend of Zelda spinoff like the original Hyrule Warriors? What would you want? Like, just let me know down below what you would want. And honestly, I would love to hear what you guys think about that because of the fact that I'm very interested in this topic. I think it makes complete sense that they would be willing to do more games like this because you cannot be closed-minded. And Nintendo is a company that is very open-minded, and I admire that about them. Compared to other companies in the gaming industry, Nintendo, in my opinion, is one of, if not the only open-minded companies. And you might say, well, they're closed-minded in certain ways, and every company is, but Nintendo's very open-minded. What company would do a prequel in a Warrior style? Like, I just don't think a lot of companies would even have done that. And honestly, though it didn't really come out the way we wanted it to, the Metacritic score reflects that. People are not really that excited about it. People are not really that happy about this game. It opens the door for more possibilities. What if we got a classic game out of a Zelda spinoff? Now, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is not a classic. Neither is the predecessor, just Hyrule Warriors. I don't think it's a classic, but maybe I'm wrong. But the Metacritic scores show that, and you can look at the user scores. I don't really go by what the Metacritic is always just on the main number there because obviously that's the critic score. I like to look at the user score. They're the ones who are really messing around with it. The critics sometimes are paid to say certain things. It's really not a very reliable source to go by. But those are my thoughts on this whole situation with, you know, another prequel to a different Zelda timeline or, you know, another way to tap into the Breath of the Wild timeline. You know, and honestly, I'm looking forward to more games like this. Though I'm not really happy with Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, I would like to see more Zelda content, and like Nintendo said, they'll be doing something Zelda every year on the Switch. So honestly, you have to wonder what 2021 is. Is it going to be Breath of the Wild 2? Is it going to be another spinoff? What's it going to be? We don't know at this point, but I think a lot of us know it's probably going to be Breath of the Wild 2, but there is no confirmation of that, so we have to keep wondering until the day that it does get confirmed. Now, Breath of the Wild 2 is a game that I think we are going crazy about, because think about it. If we can get a prequel to the best game a lot of us have ever played, and honestly, like I always say, let me know down below if you disagree with me. Maybe Breath of the Wild is not your favorite game. But for me, it definitely is, and I'm really happy to say that I would love more information on this timeline, more stuff to do, and more ways to play in that universe. I think it's great, and I think Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity's strongest parts are when we're going around and we're doing things in these different areas that are familiar to us, but so different to us because it's 100 years before, and it's really interesting, and I love it. I love that about the game. I just wish the story would have been up to par. Honestly, it could have been great. But those are my thoughts on this. Those are my thoughts on the Zelda team and what they want to do. They want to do more spin-offs if the opportunity arises, like he said. That sounds good to me. I'd love to play more of them when they do come out, if they do come out, whatever, what's going on with that. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Let's have a conversation in the description. Sorry, guys. In the comment section down below. And as always, Jimmie out of here. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thanks again.